Hi everybody, welcome back to this week's episode of GRS University. I'm gonna kick it back and take it easy while Jake Newell shows you how to make a Bulino graver. Enjoy.
My name is Jake Newell. Today we're going to show you how to sharpen an 80-degree Bulino graver. It's going to be a little different than the normal gravers that you may have made. Just 2 less grinds than normal, but I'll walk you through that process right now. So the 80-degree Bulino graver we're going to make today, it has 3 basic grinds. We're going to start with the face grind and grind the face, and then we're going to work to the bottom of the graver and do a lot of people call it different things. Some people call it a relief grind. It's kind of a reshape and heel grind all in one. So it'll just be 2 grinds on the bottom of the graver. This 80-degree Bulino graver, it's really not good for cutting curved lines. It's better for straight lines and straight dashes, little dots or dashes, whatever you want to call it. And you'll see that later in the cutting section of the video. All right, to sharpen our 80-degree Bulino graver, we're going to be using the Apex system. And for this particular graver, I like to use the black wheel, the dual angle wheel, okay? Remember, depending on how you have your gravers oriented, you'll want to line that tab up. For me, as I look at the top of the graver, my tab is on the left. So I'll make sure that the top of the wheel here is at 0 degrees. Snap that in place. The top of my wheel here is at 0 degrees. It's lined up with the line, and my tab is on the left. At that point, I'll go ahead and load my graver. I'm using a 1.8 C-Max graver for my Bulino tool. I'm going to sharpen this one today. If you'd like to make a little quicker Bulino tool, you can also use the tapered point C-Max graver, and that will deliver a faster tool. You won't have to grind quite as much, but you'll be able to see this graver with the 1.8 millimeter a lot quicker, or you'll be able to see it a lot easier on the video. So we'll use that today. All right, so to sharpen our Bulino graver, the first step we're gonna do is the face angle. So as far as this front angle here, I like to call that the tilt angle, because when I loosen this, you can see it tilts my graver from side to side. So I'll rotate that over to F. Okay, lock that in. And then on this side, the post angle, I call this the post angle because it sits on the post. I'll go ahead and put that at a 55-degree face angle. That may be a little steeper than you're used to as far as the face angle, but we want the strength of a 55-degree face, so that's why we have that little steeper face angle. All right, as far as, we're gonna do some rough grinding. It's gonna take a little while for us to grind this 80-degree graver. So as far as rough grinding, I use the 180 grit gator wheel and start to rough grind this graver. Okay, start to take that face away. As I start to take the face away, I'll go ahead and work down my way on the grits. So now I'm at the 260 wheel. Going to the 600 wheel. And I don't apply a lot of pressure on the graver as I'm starting to sharpen this. There's really no need to. Let the wheel do the work. Work that all the way to 1200, and then I'll go ahead and switch to the polishing wheel. This is a ceramic polishing wheel. It's been treated with diamond spray. And I'll go ahead and polish the face of that graver. This is where I apply just a slight amount of pressure right here on the front of the graver. The polishing wheel itself doesn't remove a lot of graver material, but it will polish what you have. So it does take a little while to get that face polished. But since I have all of this set up already, I go ahead and polish that face right now. And there you can see it glimmering in the light. All right, and that's the face. Now that we're done with the face angle, what we're gonna do is switch over to the reshaping, relief grind, belly angle, whatever you wanna call it. And this is gonna be 2 angles that we're gonna make on the bottom of the graver, okay? Because we're working on the bottom of the graver, I need to switch this tilt angle from F face all the way back 180 degrees back to 0, okay? Now I know the top of the graver, the face is up on my graver, and I'm ready to do and grind the bottom of the graver, okay? For our reshaping grind, we're going to go ahead and do a 50 degrees. So we're gonna do both sides, and I'm gonna do it, rotate from 0 over to 50 degrees and lock that in, okay? The post angle is going to be probably a different angle than you're used to using. It's gonna be 12 degrees. Okay, you may be used to having a 15 or 20 degree heel angle, but in this case we're going to use a 12. It's just a little shallower than normal. And you're going to notice with the cutting performance of the graver, it's going to feel a little different than what you're used to. Okay, now that I have my angles set, I have my tilt angle at 50, I have my post angle at 12, I'm ready to start grinding. And just like the face, I'm going to work my way through the wheels here, starting with the 180 grit wheel. This grind is going to take quite a bit longer than the other grind, the face angle, because you're just moving a lot more metal. Right there, you can see the glimmer of light there. You can start to see the angle being created. I'm gonna take it back a little further on this 180 grit wheel, just because I know this wheel will hog out the metal. You'll see me rotating the graver back and forth. You'll see me moving it across the wheel. I like to just move it across the wheel to use the different parts of the wheel and not wear out a particular spot on the wheel. There you can see the more I grind, the larger it gets. There you can see it. I'm gonna go ahead and switch wheels over to the 260 and work my way up the grits. Finally, the 1200 wheel. It looks like I've taken that back about 1/4 to 3/8 of an inch. I'm taking that grind back, and I'm gonna stop right there and go ahead and start to work on the other side. And I want these two sides to kind of line up and be even when I'm all done. So I'm gonna switch over to the other side, and you'll notice that I haven't polished it yet. I'll come back and polish it once I get the two sides lined up. Okay, now that I've gotten both sides even, basically my reshape or my relief grind on the bottom, I've got both sides even, and what that leaves me with is a very, very tiny face on the front of my graver. So once you see that face and it's nice and even on each side, then I'm gonna go ahead and polish the relief grinds or the bottom grinds that I have on here. So to do that, again, set the tilt angle at 50, the post angle at 12, and I'll go ahead and grind those away. Again, when I get to the polishing wheel, I apply a slight amount of pressure up here on the front. If you notice that when you're polishing, if you notice that the back part of the grind is getting polished, but the front part isn't, go ahead and increase that post angle just by maybe 1/4 or 1/2 degree, and that will really help focus that polishing on the front tip of your graver. Just want to make sure you don't go too far with that, because you can damage the wheel if you increase it by too much. Take a look at that. Yep, looks pretty polished. Okay, we'll move to the other side. Again, for the other side, we'll take the tilt angle. We'll rotate it to the other 50 degrees past the 0. We'll go ahead and lock that in. The reason you don't want to apply too much pressure right here is the graver can snap if you apply way too much pressure here. It can snap at this point, but some slight pressure and that'll get your graver nice and polished. Okay, we're ready to cut with this thing. I hope you enjoyed our video here on sharpening an 80-degree Bulino graver. One thing I forgot to mention, you don't have to be stuck on 80 degrees. You could also make a 105 Bulino graver. The only thing that would change is that reshaping angle. So feel free to experiment and see what you like. But an 80-degree graver, that's traditionally what the Italians used. So that's the traditional Bulino graver. But like I said, just feel free to experiment however you like.
Thanks for watching, guys. I hope you enjoyed that little break from this gal. Jake does a pretty good job making Bulino gravers, and hopefully now you can too. This week's suggested Instagram user is Time Engraver. Mr. Espancierto does some beautiful work on watches, guitar picks, knives, you name it, it's on there. And in my opinion, his presentation is the best. So go check out his page. If you want to be our suggested Instagram user, then tag us at GRS Tools on your next Instagram post. And then go like us on all of the things. You know the drill. Come back and watch the next video. Bye, guys.